Today, we are going to talk about the origins of cryptocurrency, why it was created in the first place. You see, the problem with traditional currencies like the US dollar, they are controlled by central banks, which are really privately owned companies, which have the ability to print more money whenever they want, or when governments want to increase their expenditure. And yes, money is printed into existence. Now, this act of money printing leads to inflation, where the value of your money decreases over time. That's why prices for all goods have been rising since you were born. But of lately, it seems the growth is exponential. Just imagine working hard for your money only to see its value shrink because of inflation. That's what happened in the 2008 financial crisis. And it never stopped. It actually started back in 1971 when the gold standard was ditched and fiat currency was born, which is what we have today. A reserve currency that is backed by nothing, as they say. Now, did you know that the dollar has lost over 95% of its strength since 1971, and that many countries are ditching it for local currencies? Of course, I'll make another video on the future of local currencies and how 95% of all countries are ready to digitize their currencies into CBDCs, and they will have control over how, when, and what to buy with your money. Not that they are not in control right now, they are, but it's just a little bit hidden. Now back to the 2008 financial crisis. That's when Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, had an idea. What if we can create a currency that's decentralized, meaning that no single entity controls it, a currency that's limited in supply so that it cannot be inflated away. And that's how Bitcoin was created. A cryptocurrency designed to solve the problem of inflation and give people control over their money back. Now, before we move any further, let's look at the state of the world as it is right now. First of all, the world is massively in debt. Literally. According to the reports, a significant number of countries are facing high levels of debt. The UN report states that a total of 52 countries, almost 40% of the developing world, are in serious debt trouble, with countries like the US, Japan, Italy, and Singapore in the lead. The World Bank report notes that about 60% of low-income countries are at high risk of debt distress or already in it. So more than half of the world is in debt, with America just over 34 trillion US dollars. They are literally hitting an all-time high every second. Now, secondly, when it comes to population growth, which has been declining, now it does not take a genius to know that if population growth is slowing down, also GDP is going to slow down. And when GDP growth slows down, there will be not enough money to pay for the debts of that country. That's why you are seeing countries like the US bringing in all these migrants. Yes, the Democratic Party will use them in their votes, but they also need them to increase their labor market or workforce, which is now shrinking. America cannot afford to default in its debt. Countries like China, which is one of the biggest lenders of the American economy, can see this happening, and that's why they are removing their reliance on the dollar. China is the biggest miner and buyer of gold. They don't own 5,000 but more than 30,000 tons of gold. Yet we still have countries in Africa selling their gold in these cheap market prices. Bro, silver and gold is going to explode once the dollar gets into trouble or once the system is changed. Now, another thing we can look at is wages. They are not rising, but asset prices are. So this means your future self is getting poorer because you can't afford these assets in the future. And wealth is all about asset accumulation for future consumption. So this means you can't afford them now and you can't afford them in the future. Besides that, even your kids will not, because they will still be paying some of that money that you and your politicians are using now, because we're basically stealing from our future kids, and we are never going to be able to be richer than our broke parents. That's just the sad truth. Which then brings us to politicians. Now, the path of least resistance for politicians when dealing with debt is currency debasement or money printing. It's how they finance their spending, it's how they buy their re-election, it's how they avoid telling us the truth that our countries are broke. Do you know what inflation really is? It's just a hidden tax. Instead of taxing you directly or indirectly through a sales tax, they just rob everyone of their purchasing power by creating money out of thin air. While Bitcoin has advantages like lower transaction cost and censorship resistance, it faces criticism around anonymity, concentration of ownership, energy consumption, and volatility, and yes, including the lack of its intrinsic value that may make other cryptocurrencies like XRP or even traditional stores of value like gold more appealing in certain use cases. So the big question is, if the dollar falls or there's a change in the financial system and both of these things are going to happen, which way are you taking? Blockchain or gold? Now, if you're interested in knowing more about this type of content, be sure to like and follow us on TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would also recommend for you to watch the debate between Peter Schiff and Raoul Pal on the future of Bitcoin and other digital assets on the Tom Pilu channel. Great conversation they had. What they don't know is that they are both correct. Why? Because we do have a technology that solves the problem that comes with both Bitcoin and gold, and it's XRP. Now, from today onwards, I'll be sharing information on these three things: where we come from with our financial system, where we are, of which I strongly believe we're inside of a big monetary transition, coupled with many other factors like geopolitics, religion, and our history, all combined. And lastly, where we are transitioning to and how you can profit from this transition, because trust me, not everyone loses money in a recession. More money is actually made in pandemics and wars. Ask yourself this question: how much money did China make during the COVID pandemic? And how much money did America print during the pandemic? And how much money have they printed during these two wars we are currently in right now? Again, guys, don't forget to follow us, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with the latest insights and analysis in the space, and to know more about why I am saying XRP is the future of the financial system. So my job is to help you navigate the space and help you literally see what I am saying, because most of the people I know, they are just sleeping, guys. Every weekend we're going out to drink. Every time we get paid, we use our money for things that are not going to help us tomorrow. So my job in this channel is to help everyone. If you want to be financially aware, let me say that, not financially literate, because I know most of you are literate, but I just want to help you see where I see the world going, not in the next 30 years, guys, in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Remember the World Economic Forum with their, what is it called? The 2030 agenda. Smart cars, smart money, smart power grids. I believe, guys, the world is going digital. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you do subscribe. See you again. Cheers.